Hi, my name is Brian, and this is the first video in the RhinoCam tutorial series. As you'll notice, I do not have any model in this file. I could create one now, but I do have one already made. I'm going to go ahead and load that in. One thing to take note when setting up a RhinoCam job is if your model is to be rendered out later and its position here is very specific, maybe there's a backdrop or there's another object over here, RhinoCam is going to take your model and move it around here when we tell it where it lies within the stock box. So just a suggestion, maybe create a layer solely for the use of RhinoCam so that when it does move it, it doesn't affect your whole scene if you were to use this for something other than just cam operations at a later time. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the RhinoCam browser, and here you'll see on the left that it recognizes all the surfaces within our model here. As long as something is in this tree, then you should be all set. No need to concern yourself with what each one of these represents, though if we were to explode this model, it would highlight each individual surface. Also, if I had polylines or vectors drawn within the Rhino window here, it would detect them here as well. RhinoCam is really nice in the fact that for the most part, working from left to right in each tab will get you through setting up toolpaths. You don't really need to remember a priority in which to set things. So with that said, we'll work left to right here, clicking the first button here. For now, we're just going to run a 3-axis job, so we need to tell it that it's a 3-axis machine that we're going to be using. Later, we'll get into 4-axis. If we were to have an automatic tool changer or just a tool crib where these tools are located, we can send the machine to it to change tools. For now, we'll do that manually or just run one tool, so we don't need to concern ourselves with that, but this is the window in which you do it. Next, this just tells where the posts are located by default. It fills that in for you, and that's suffice for this. Next, we always leave this setting on default. I always leave this setting on default. Again, no need to change it for our purposes here. And we're going to skip this one. Real quick, we need to set up stock for which our part will be milled out of before we tell it where our part is. So we're going to go ahead and load a box stock. The stock that I'm going to use is going to be 8 inches by 8 inches, and it is 4 inches tall. So I'll go ahead and apply that. Now I'm going to tell it where the geometry lies. I'm going to set the origin to the stock box. The Z is going to be at the top of the stock, Z0, and then I'm going to set it in the southwest quadrant there and go ahead and apply that. As you'll see, it kicked our model all the way over to the where we just specified. But now I'm going to go ahead and locate that within the stock. I want to move the part. I want the stock to stay fixed here. I am going to go ahead and drop my part to the bottom so that it's going to mill off a top plane before it reaches the model and mill straight to the table. So we're going to align the Z at the bottom. We can see a little preview here of what our part is doing in this hidden stock box. Our XY alignment is again going to be in the, actually we'll make this center so we can watch the model change again. As I click center and then apply it, we'll see our model over here dive to the center of that 8x8 piece. Now we have it all set up. You can see how there is a gap here that's like 1.5 inches because again I was going to have it mill straight through the 4-inch stock all the way down to the table, and that's where the part lies. So our piece, our stock, they are all set up. These are just things that also come with RhinoCam, ways to edit post processors or create your own from scratch, and just other preferences throughout the program. But this concludes the first video in the tutorials about setting up your part and your stock.